Good day, everyone. So, my name is Naila Hadiandini, and I wanted to present my mini journal regarding the intention of e-wallet utilization in college students, a case study of Bandung Institute of Technology. So, here are the table of contents that we are going to discuss in my mini journal today. So, moving on to our introduction. So, the most common fintech that has been rapidly going in Indonesia is the digital wallet or e-wallet. An e-wallet is one of the cashless payment instruments. The consumer fills in the card and or application on a trusted system or bank. Then the consumer pays with the application or card. Recent survey of Databox even shows that the value of e-wallet transactions in Indonesia will reach 28 billion US dollar in 2020. Meanwhile, the volume of e-wallet transactions reached 1.7 billion times. The total number of e-wallet users in the country is recorded at 63.6 million users, with the survey followed by the result of the market size of the famous e-wallet companies in Indonesia. So basically, digital wallets can be seen as an online wallet. It is made to be a practical application that is designed to improve access to financial services and methods. Now, practical here means the e-wallets basically improve the conventional cash payment system because their essential is to eliminate the need to carry a physical money. So, we are going to talk about the reasons why people use e-wallet. So the first one is security, second one is trust, and the third one is social image. And this is based on the previous study that I've been going on through. So the majority of the e-wallet population also stated that it is from the 16 until 30 age group, which is the highest adoption of technology and facilitates mobile commerce. As a young population, they are more prone to use new technologies than others. According to Custono, an e-wallet application that is easy to operate makes it easy and gives usefulness to users, especially college students that are really young and really open to new technology. So, after discussing our introduction, so we are going to moving on to the conceptual framework. So, since I mentioned security, trust, and image, we are going to add a little bit more variables of regarding perceived enjoyment. So I'm using the TAM model or technology acceptance model framework by Davis. So from conducting the conceptual framework, I have came up with 12 hypotheses that has defined the behavior and the attitude towards use of college students using an e-money to define what is the reason or what was the strong correlation why they use e-money. So regarding research methodology, so I have to highlight that I'm using a quantitative approach, a questionnaire with Likert scale, and the TAM model as my framework. So the source of this research data collection is gathered from a primary data as the real data sampling and secondary data to further analyze using a basis census to elaborate. So the population of this research itself is also narrowed down to college students of Bandung Institute of Technology and using the non-probability sampling method, convenient sampling to be precise. So data analysis, I have to highlight that I'm using a descriptive statistics at first, and I will be using SAM-PLS as the approach to further analyze the hypotheses. So we're going to talk about the result. So after conducting the research questionnaire, spreading the research questionnaire, so I've gathered 400 respondents, which dominantly was filled by women in terms of the college students, as much as 71.5%, and the dominant age that filled up my questionnaire is also around 17 until 20 years old. So as it can be seen from the descriptive statistics from the variable that is written in the presentation. So the highest mean was reached by the attitude towards use in using e-wallet that is really relevant to the reason why people use e-wallets. And the lowest one holds by the image variable. Okay, so moving on to the PLSM analysis. So the first one, we are going to talk about the composite reliability, which define the reliability of each variable. From the results of the Smart PLS output in table beside, it shows that the composite reliability of my variables value for all construct is above the value of 0.5, which is the thumb of rule. With the resulting value, all constructs have good reliability in accordance with the minimum value limit that has been required. So the next one is discriminant validity. So when we talk about discriminant validity, it tests whether concepts or measurements that are not supposed to be related are actually unrelated. So it will not make a really complicated variability in each of our variable. So the diversity and a wide range of results from the cross-leading in table beside shows that the value that is significantly correlates the construct with its indicators is greater than the correlation value with other. Thus, all constructs or latent variables can be considered as a good discriminant validity, whether the indicators in the construct indicates blocks are better than indicators in other blocks. So these are for the image and security variables. These are for the trust and perceived enjoyment. So the first one is the dependent variable. And this one's for the attitude towards use and behavior intention to use. And this one's is for the perceived usefulness and perceived easiness of use, which is derived from the thumb model. Okay, so the next one is validity test, which can be seen as a test to test the validity of a variable using the eighth root. So based on the table beside, all construct shows an eighth root value that is greater than 0.5, with the smallest value of 0.561, which is held by the perceived ease of use. This value has met the requirements in accordance with the specified minimum F value limit of 0.5. So all variables are valid. Okay, so the next one is talking about the convergent validity. So the convergent validity itself is conducted by comprehending towards several reliability items, whether the item is indicated by the score of loading factor value. So in convergent validity itself, a loading factor value greater than 0.5 7 is said to be valid. However, according to other research for an initial examination of the loading factor matrix, approximately 0.3 is considered to have met the minimum level, and for a loading factor of approximately 0.4 is considered better, and for loading factor greater than 0.5 is generally considered significant. It can be seen from the table the loading factor value of the indicators on each research variable has met the requirements so that the data can be said as valid. Okay, so moving on to the collinearity test. So the collinearity test is seen from the fifth value on the basis of the absence of collinearity if the fifth value is below 5. The following are the results of the collinearity test can be seen in the tables. Based on the table, the fifth value shows number below 5 so that there is no collinearity problems. So we are going to talk more regarding the hypothesis and the variance analysis. Based on the R-square value analyzed, it shows different values for each dependent variable. Perceived of usefulness, attitude towards use, and behavior intended to use are considered variable with moderate R-square according to the common limit R2 value criteria, because they are on the range of 0.67 until 0.33. So the perceived usefulness are 0.574 or 57%. The remaining 42.6% is influenced by other variables not examined in the study. The attitude towards use variable is 51.6%. The remaining 48% is influenced by other variables not examined in the study. The behavior intention to use variable is 56.1%. The remaining 43% is influenced by other variables not examined in the study. And the highest R-square is shown by the dependent variable of perceived of usefulness, meaning as much as 57%, changes in the variable of perceived of use. As for the last dependent variable, the variable perceived ease of use, 35.3%, the remaining 64% is influenced by other variables not examined in the study. The variable considered as weak according to the group classification. So, talking about the Stone-Geyser test. So, the Stone-Geyser test actually, it is a structural model we assess the structural model using the R-square for the dependent construct. Previously, the Stone-Geyser Q-square test is conducted for predictive relevance. When evaluating the model with pile S, the R-square for each dependent latent variable is first examined. Changes in the value of R-square can be used to assess whether certain independent latent variables have a substantive effect on the dependent latent variable. The value of Q-square structural model testing is calculated by examining the value of Q-square. The Q-square test is as follows. It shows the result of 0.705, which is 70%. According to Ghazali, the value of Q-square can be used to measure how well the observed value are generated by the model, and also the estimated parameters. A Q-square value greater than 0 indicates that the model is said to be good enough. So this model is said to be good enough because it has 70%. So as for the hypothesis testing, out of 12 hypotheses, there are 2 hypothesis that is rejected. So the first one is the image that has positive impact towards perceived usefulness, and the second one is the trust that has a positive impact towards perceived usefulness. It shows that it doesn't have a positive impact towards perceived usefulness. As for the variable of trust and image. Okay, so conclusion. Based on the elaborated result beforehand, the conclusions of the study is that the independent variables that define e-wallet utilization among the college students of Bandung Institute Technology are security, trust, and perceived enjoyment, which then impact the perceived of usefulness and perceived of ease of use that will make college students have the attitude and intention to use the e-wallet. On the other hand, image has no significant positive impact towards the perceived usefulness of an e-wallet utilization. Thus, college students in majority use e-wallet because they have put their trust in the brand, they feel safe, and enjoy using the technology. That is all from me, and if you have any questions, you can leave the questions down in the chat or in the comment section down below. Thank you for your time, and have a nice day.